What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. It is, hold on, check my dates. October 2nd, 2023. I almost said 2024. October 2nd, 2023. It is 3 p.m. Central Time. My name is Chris Weiser, coming to you live from Austin, Texas. Have my trusty sales trainer, Cindy Phillips, with me today. How you doing, Cindy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hello, everybody.
That's good. So we got a pretty cool webcast for you guys today. We're going to do a couple minutes of like green room, and we're live, we're broadcasting. But usually what we do is, and we're actually switching platforms this month. We used to be on Zoom. We've switched over to StreamYard. We're trying some new stuff. So what's cool is we're on StreamYard in webinar format, and we got a lot of people here with us that are in the webinar side, in the chat. You guys are going to get super rewarded for joining us here live in the webinar today. That means you signed up. That means you gave us your name and your info. You're going to get prizes. You're going to get some giveaways. You got a bunch of cool stuff. We also are simulcasting. One of the nice things I like about the StreamYard platform, I can now simulcast across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these different platforms. Next month, we're going to be adding Restream. So we're going to hit honestly, probably going to hit billions. I wish that'd be awesome, but I don't think there's a billion MSPs out there, so that's okay. So we're going to go a little bit of green room here. If you guys have questions for me and Cindy in the green room, we got 3 minutes to start. The reason I do that, MSPs are late. Cindy, you know that? We talk about this all the time.
MSPs
are always late. Now, I get it. It's not like it's just you guys. We got stuff going on. We got tickets. We got clients. We're on our phones. We're driving around in cars. I get it all. A couple things I'm going to ask of you. First of all, grab a water. Cindy, I got a Chick-fil-A Diet Coke today.
Hey, there you go. I've got my Monster Yeti.
It's got the little ice in it too. You know that nugget ice. I bought Cindy a nugget ice maker.
Let me tell you, that thing lives in infamy, right? That thing's running every day. It's like, oh, Chris loves me, man. He sends me ice cubes.
Also, I have my cell phone. Please turn your cell phones off. Give us attention. We got a lot of things going on today. And Melanie just said, this is kind of cool. Another reason why I like StreamYard, because I can actually post your comments up on the screen now. Melanie, good to see you. Melanie's with us on LinkedIn, which is kind of cool. She's here. She's on time with us. That's awesome to see. So we're simulcasting across multiple platforms. We also have our live webcast people, our webinar people. You webinar people, please stay in webinar because you're going to get special prizes. The only people can win this are webinar people. We're going to have other people that are out there, but they can't join. They can't chat. They can't comment like you can comment, which means you get to win. So
and your prizes are pretty epic.
Yeah, we got lots of gift cards. We got a bunch of money that we're giving away today. We got about a minute and a half till we go live. And Cindy, what do you think about the whole public green room now? Because this is like,
oh man, I like it because it always turns out that we have friends in the green room anyway, and then we'll meet people that in a few weeks are going to be our friends. And so it's always kind of nice to start those relationships early. It's really nice to have comments in green room because it helps us stay focused.
Yep,
so
I love it. Okay, so if you guys are with us, we're going to go live in like a minute here. We're live already, I get it, but we're going to start the broadcast in a minute. Do me a favor and get your keyboards ready. If you guys are live in the webinar with us, please get your keyboards ready. We're going to ask a lot of comments. We're going to put stuff on screen. We want participation. Cindy's going to be doing a bunch of stuff participation-wise. Yeah, she's got, what is that thing called, Cindy?
Oh, this is my supercomputer.
Yeah.
Wait, you haven't seen my decision maker yet, have you?
Oh my, that's your damn it. No.
Yeah, this is my decision maker, and this one's the gatekeeper. I don't know if you've been around in a while, but yeah, we have lots of fun on Wednesdays with that.
Super excited about this. This is a lot of fun. So, okay. All right, we're going to get rolling here. I think we're ready to fly. Cindy, you ready to fly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wheels up.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to add my screen here. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to do a little quick reset mentally. Stretch. Okay, here we go. You're going to go to Webinar Chris now. All right, here we go, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our latest webcast here at 7-Figure MSP. My name is Chris Weiser, here to bring you Build Your MSP Empire, how to double your MRR in the next 6 months. This is a really cool platform. A lot of good stuff going on today. I got my guest host, Cindy Phillips, here with me. Cindy, what is up? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to be with you. We had rain in Central Texas yesterday, so I'm expecting this to be a banner day.
Where'd you get rain?
Yeah, exactly. Right over our yard for 20
Wow.
minutes. Woohoo!
I wish. I live in Austin. Cindy lives about an hour south of me, near New Braunfels, San Antonio area. And we didn't have any rain here in Austin. So I wish we did, but we did not. So I got some cool stuff for you guys today. A couple things that I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to go into my presentation. Then we're going to have Cindy. Then you're going to be stuck with me coming back. At the end, we're going to have a live Q&A. We're going to have a lot of commentary. We also got a couple cool things for you guys. If you're live with us on the webinar, we got two portions here. We got the webinar, which is a room that's was pre-registered only, etc. You guys are going to be given, and this is your reward for signing up ahead of time. You're going to be given gift cards, a bunch of stuff going on. You got to wait until the end for that. We are also simulcasting across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, all kinds of different platforms today. It's pretty cool. We switched platforms from Zoom over to StreamYard. They have their new webinar platform. Super stoked about it. It's working really well. Allows me to put comments up on the screen and all kinds of stuff. So a couple little housekeeping items, and then we'll get rolling. So first of all, my promise to you coming out of today, Cindy and I are going to show you exactly how to use what we call the CSRA. If you see that term anywhere, CSRA means Cybersecurity Risk Assessment. That is a 7-figure MSP. Obviously, Cybersecurity Risk Assessment is not some unique special term, but CSRA is what we call it internally with our clients and me. We're going to show you how to use CSRAs to add thousands of dollars to your business, selling them ahead of time. This is a really important thing. Stop giving them away. There's no value in free stuff. So that we're going to show you every step of the way on how we teach our MSP clients how to add hundreds of dollars per seat to their MSP service offering. The average that comes into our coaching calls, $68 a seat in the United States. It's about $33 a seat, $33 a seat in Canada and Australia, the UK. So it's a little bit less outside of the US. So we're going to show you how to add 100 more, 200 more, maybe even $300, $400 more, depending on how you sell, even if you're a brand new MSP. So we got stuff for you guys that are legacy MSP owners, all the way down to you brand new startup guys. We got that for you today. Also, we're going to teach you our sales process. I got a special giveaway I'll go through in a second. It's going to show you our exact sales process on how to use CSRAs to massively up-level the money, but how to sell them the right way and how to sell your services the right way. So you're moving from just the old school MSP mindset to what you should be selling now. You're going to learn how to take those processes and turn them into 7-figure years, 7-figure quarters, 7-figure months, and slowly 7-figure deals. We got some existing clients on today's call. We got some other stuff. We got some cool stuff for you guys. And if you stay until the end with us, note, this is for you webinar registrants. We are simulcasting today. For you webinar registrants, we're going to be giving away multiple prizes. One winner is going to get a $250 Amazon gift card. We're going to give that away at the end. And then a second winner is going to win a $100 Amazon gift card at the end. Those two things are for you guys that registered ahead of time. Third, on top of that, anyone else that's here watching on the simulcast, watching live, I don't care where you are, if you're watching on the replay, you guys can get your own $50 Amazon gift card, but you have to stay until the end to get that kind of stuff. Again, the guys that registered, the people that registered ahead of time, $250 gift card, a second $100 gift card. And then if you stay till the end, anybody that's watching live stream, recording, etc., you can also get a $50 gift card. Last thing in my housekeeping, please pay attention. That means no tickets. Take these things and turn them off. Chris gets pissed when you get your phone on. But no distractions is the point. We're going to help you change your business, and we're going to help you change your life. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Please give us some attention. I know there's a lot of distractions in today's world. You got Teams, you got Slack, you got all this other stuff blowing up and banging and banging, and close your email, close all this stuff. And we'll help you change your life and change your business, okay? Also, you heard me talk about my giveaway. One special bonus for everybody here. If you stay till the end, again, this is everyone across the board gets this. We have our very own CSRA roadmap, our ultimate cybersecurity risk assessment guide. It's brand new, hot off the presses. Cindy and I worked on this. Cindy been killing it. It's literally slaving away. Cindy, right? I know you've been slaving away. We're going to be giving you guys a chance to get that as well, but you have to stay until the end with me. All right. Cindy, any comments on that?
That thing is so fresh. The paint's still drying.
Yeah, it's cool because it's a PDF, so it's really like I printed them out. We're gonna jam them into the computer for you guys, but it's really good stuff. So let me take a quick sip because my throat is dry today. My trusty Chick-fil-A Diet Coke today. That was lunch. All right. If you guys do not know me, my name is Chris Weiser. Just like you, I was an MSP owner. I'm now a recovering MSP owner, which is kind of funny, right? But I was in the Milwaukee market, started my MSP in 2004, sold that MSP in 2015. I started as a 0-person shop, zero, I guess myself, so 1-person shop, but me plus 0, to over almost 300K of MRR when I sold the company, all long-term recurring revenue agreements, anywhere from 12 months to, in fact, I had a 10-year, but our average was a 36-month deal. You can kind of sell how you want. Our recommendation is to try and start with a 36-month and then use that as a baseline to get whatever you can, but you want term revenue if you can get it. But when I sold the firm, it was still long-term agreements, a lot of cash was the point with it. And you see me on stage right there. Since I sold that MSP, we've built a multi-7-figure, 8-figure MSP coaching firm called 7-Figure MSP. Now that does not mean that we're already a 7-figure MSP. We don't need your help. We have some massive MSPs in our program. We also have some 1-person, $500,000 a year companies. It's 7-figure years, 7-figure deals, 7-figure quarters, whatever you want. But the whole concept is you're using processes and systems and strategy to massively level up what you're doing. I don't care where you're at. So don't let that name throw you off. Okay. It's more of our ideal client is the 7-figure MSP is who we talk about. That's why that's there. Speaking of seeing me on stage, we do have a pretty cool live event series. If you've not heard of this, every quarter we kind of travel around the nation and we have 7-Figure MSP live. We are doing Fort Lauderdale. It's titled Build Your MSP Empire. And one of the reasons it's called this is because we have the original Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, as our keynote speaker. Super pumped about Jordan. He made a special video for our guests and our members. Cindy, I don't know if you got a chance to watch that, but it was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I watched it.
And that was pretty neat. But I have a 80% off VIP ticket available. If you guys are interested in this, just use the promo code at sign up, MSP VIP Q4. That is available at live.7figuremsp.com. I'll bring around to the back at the end of the call as well. But MSP VIP Q4 is your ticket. Cindy, if you want to type that into the comments, that would be great.
Already did.
Let me put that up on the screen really quick. So live.7, see these fancy tools I got now. So we got that. And then we got promo code MSP VIP Q4. Look at that. Fancy. Love it. Okay. Live at 7-Figure MSP. And we have added hundreds of thousands of dollars in new MRR for our clients using everything you're going to see today as a baseline. Got a couple of really good examples here. We got Greg Bledsoe. Greg is in the Houston market. This is a couple of years ago now, and I really have Greg first because we're going to come around to a case study with Greg kind of at the end. But good example, first customer, 17 users. They were paying $1,400 a month. We over doubled them to $3,750. Second customer was paying $3,000 a month, 25 users. We over doubled them using the 7-Figure MSP processes. So everything you're going to learn today is what Greg applied. And in his first couple months, did that. I'm going to come back and show you Greg where he's at now in a little while. So that was a couple of years ago. Also got Greg Mullen, another one, 36 months deals, 2,600 MRR, 300 per additional users, et cetera, following a paid CSRA. Here's another one, Charles Vandenhoeven, et cetera. Another one from Rafi. So my point being that you got a lot of opportunities. Got another one from Batch here. Another couple good ones. We have MSPs that come in and say, this doesn't scale. Had a big argument in my Facebook group. How does 300 a seat scale across hundreds of users? Great example. Look at Nick Stevens. Nick Stevens is in the Bay Area. Now, we're not going to say it does that for everybody. We're not going to say it does that for every country, but it can be done. Great example. 278 users for $62,000 a month. Now, in this case, I don't remember if Nick was doing co-managed, Cindy, or if he was doing full stack on this one. But
so this one was co-managed, if I remember correctly, because this was a company that was VC backed, by the way.
Yeah.
This was a VC backed firm. So, and it was a tough group of people to sell to because they were engineers.
Absolutely. So works with big MSPs, Also, here's a good example. This is Liam Benson. Liam is in Sydney, Australia. Been ripping it lately, Liam. I know he's been like active in our group, Cindy, the last couple days here. He's signed a ton of new MRR in the last couple months. He had a little bit of a struggle. There was a lot of stuff going on in Australia. But since then, in the last 12 months, they've had multiple big public breaches. He's been hammering it and killing around, on average, $300 per seat. He's added a lot of seats. I don't have exact numbers from Liam, but this is recently. So my point is being, you got big MSP here, you got small MSP in Australia here. It works across the board, guys. You just got to follow principles. And I'm here to show you that you don't have to have a ton of certs, crazy technical expertise. Never went to college. Never had a single cert. I didn't even have my A+ cert, guys. Now that doesn't mean I'm some freak and I'm like so super brilliant guy. Doesn't work that way. I'm actually kind of stupid if you've met me in person. It's real. But the bottom line is you can do this by focusing your time in the right areas and then executing the right tasks. So it's process, execution. And that really, really works. So I'll ask you guys a couple questions. You guys that are live with us on the webinar portion, I want you to get your keyboard fingers ready for the comments because we're going to be calling on you guys. And the more to participate, the more you ramp up your chance of winning those gift cards. So think about that. Does this sound like you? First of all, you know you need to move from a traditional MSP, selling your old school break fix, tech support, managed services, whatever, server installs, help desk, remote services, etc. You know you need to move from that into a cybersecurity tech-focused firm first, but you have no idea how to do it. Does that sound like you? Anybody here? Got one from Matthew here, says yes.
Raj says yes.
Another one from Raj here that says yes. I love this coming in here, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Appreciate
Travis said yes.
Commenting. Here's another Travis coming in here. Coming in here. See, Cindy, I told you this thing is pretty badass. Got Bart,
awesome.
got Chris, got Tony, got Wasim. So we got all these guys saying, yes, I need that. So thanks, guys, for participating on that. I really appreciate it. Here's another one. I want this to sound, does this sound like you? If clients on legacy agreements, or even worse, handshake deals, and you have no idea how to get them to sign new ones. Does that sound like you? Drop that into the chat. Cindy said legacy or no agreements. Does that sound like you guys? You have existing agreements, maybe Frankenstein agreements that scare you. We got even more coming in here. We got Brian, got another Travis, got John. All you guys commenting. I really appreciate it. Let's see what he's
scared to pitch. Scared to pitch an increase.
To pitch. This is huge. Yeah. I love that, Pazad. No contracts. Jim said somewhat. Shannon said that this was us. See, Cindy, I love this so much. This is just.
I know it's a lot more fun.
This makes me excited. Makes me excited. Oh, cost of living. I like that.
Yeah.
So my point being, yes, you need to get clients on new contracts. But Chris, why would I need my clients on new contracts? Here's a big factor. Number one, obviously, long-term recurring revenue, higher ticket price. Maybe you want to sell. That helps too down the road. I'm not saying it's the Bible, but it really, really helps. Insurance companies are coming to MSPs on cybersecurity, E&O, and liability renewal or sign up, and they're mandating that you have contracts across your entire client base. What would you do if you sat here right now and you're like, oh, I need to have insurance, but I can't get it because I have no agreements? So I don't care what kind of term you have. The longer the term, the more locked in your MRR. The longer the term, the potentially more resale value you have in your MSP. Not debating any of that stuff, but you at least have to have some type of an agreement signed with your client to have liability protection in place. You have to manage your own risk. And good luck getting your current clients to sign that without any type of incentive. Well, we have the answers. What Cindy and I are going to walk you through today. We're going to show you the keys to this, and we're going to show you why those keys work. This stuff really, really works, guys. We got hundreds of MSPs in our program. We're going to show you how to pivot your MSP to deal with any financial downturns, maybe a pandemic, maybe a recession. And we're going to show you how to double and triple or more your existing client MRR. Our goal in our program, just so you know, when people join our coaching program, and this is free stuff today, guys, but our goal in our coaching program, 30 days, we want them to see ROI in the program. And Cindy, what would you say the percentage of MSPs that see ROI at 30 days are?
Oh, it's 70%. It's at least 50%. But Chris, the reason it's not higher is really kind of hilarious people hold themselves back. If you just jump, baby, and you move, it's more like 95% because if you follow our system, I've never had someone fail to close one of their first 3 uh, engagements that they go out and talk to people on.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So if you have doubts, that's okay. I'm totally fine. We're going to have live exercises. I'm going to talk about some stuff. Cindy's going to do some live workshop stuff with you guys. Everybody that's here gets to watch that. And then we're going to do a full Q&A, and we're going to have some prizes. We're also going to have multiple case studies to show you guys how this works, etc. And just remember this, as with anything, what we do here, we could be the best coaches ever. Cindy and I could be amazing. And if you don't hold yourself accountable, what did Cindy just say? The biggest issue is people holding themselves back, not executing. A lot of, Cindy, what do you call it? Head trash, right? A lot of that head trash gets in the way, all these different things. And if you don't execute, it's not going to matter. Use this information as a launch pad. Cindy, I don't know if you saw, there was a bunch of comments this weekend from guys that said, hey, I'm not in the program, but I've been on the free webinars and I'm using some of this stuff and I've seen it work. So that's awesome. That makes me so happy.
It makes me so happy.
And if you guys need structure, accountability, that's where our coaching program comes in. We'll give you some of that stuff along with my mindset for success. My whole concept is build a system, solid process. We give you a lot of that. We're an accelerant is what our program is. Then you master it. Do it yourself for a while. I had a guy ask about, should I just give my sales team this? I'm like, no, you got to learn how to sell, buddy. You got to learn how to make sure this works. Then you execute like crazy. And this is the term that I've come up with in the last few weeks. You have to execute like crazy until you can buy your time back. I love that, Cindy. I just kind of came up with it on the fly. Somebody, I'm sure it wasn't me I'm sure I heard it somewhere, but to be able to afford, so you close enough deals to where you can buy your time back by hiring someone else. Then you can delegate those pieces and then recycle and repeat. So we have a whole sales team here at 7 Figure. That's me having enough money to hire them. I bought my time back. And that's what really, really matters, because that's what we only have so much on in today's world, right? Okay, I'm going to take a second here, introduce my co-host, Cindy Phillips. Cindy, this is not where I hand you slides, just so
so I know not to press a button.
To stop pressing buttons. But Cindy is our head sales trainer here over at 7 Figure MSP. I'll just let her talk about herself for a second, and then I'll come right back.
Yeah, so Chris, I've been in the MSP space now, oh my God, for 10 years. Prior to that, I ran a $45 million product business for some people with 10,000 customers. And prior to that, I built a $3 million consulting business, which was pretty cool. So you name it, I've sold it. Most of the time, what I've sold, you can't touch, you can't feel. I mean, complicated ideas, and you got to get people to move forward. So that's what I teach you how to do. Get people to move.
I love that. Cindy, I'm just putting a comment in the chat here.
Yeah.
I can't apparently type on for Matthew, because Matthew just said, we're in Mobile, Alabama. Our clients hate agreements. Matthew, we're going to walk you through this whole thing today. But we also have a guy, here's my response to that. We have a guy in Alabama that has scaled massively. He's actually probably south of you. What town is Dan in? I forget what town he's in.
Gosh, Dan's in Huntsville. We've got several people in that region of the Southeast that are scaling massively. But also, Chris, remember our dear friend in Tucson who told us almost exactly these exact same words about what couldn't be done in their town.
Yeah.
God, I just love it when I see that.
Absolutely. Which leads me into my next comment, which is kind of, and I want you guys to think about this. This is a mindset thing here. So give me your attention here for a few minutes, and then I'll let you talk to the much more attractive Cindy in a few minutes here. But so let's think about this. The entire MSP industry, it's at a crossroads. So what does this mean? And I want you to really break this down with me. And we got to think about how the MSP of today, Q4 now, 2023, is nothing like the MSP of even 6 months ago or even prior to that. But let's go all the way back to the way that your initial clients, think about the way your clients, the way you're selling now, the way that you're delivering your services. Let's think about somebody like Matthew, and I'll bring up his comment again. We're in Mobile, Alabama. Our clients hate agreements and paying retainers monthly service plan because they are just paying for your time when something breaks. So in that world, what is a better definition of that of IT as a commodity than that. They see IT as a commodity. They see IT in their head. They've always been buying IT the same way. So it's when stuff breaks, you come fix it, just like Matthew said. We have, I want you to come install new stuff. I want you to maybe fix my tech support, improve my services, blah, blah, blah. But in their head, that's something they've only paid. They get X, they give you Y, and the Y is money, right? So they get X service, they give you Y. Across the board, and if you think about every client, for the most part, around the world, that's how they think. Their mind is locked in how they've always bought services. That is IT of the past. And when I say, I'm going to back up, hold on, I'm on the wrong screen here. When I say the MSP of today is nothing like the MSP of the past, well, the MSP of the past is that commoditized, break fix, even if you're selling fully managed mindset of you are only there as an MSP to fix their stuff when they break or maybe install new projects. So their whole mind is locked in that. Versus where do we sit today? We are sitting in a place of IT as an essential. And it's really critical. Even if you take nothing else from this webcast, it is absolutely critical that you understand the market has shifted. You have to shift. You have to make a conscious effort to change. And it is really, really, really important that you do that across the board. Okay. I really want to make sure that's very clear. So what happened and how do we get there? And we're going to kind of walk you guys through that over the next 45, 90 minutes here, whatever, depending how long it takes. Cindy and I sometimes talk more than others. Well, let's think about this. I'm sorry for my voice. I came out of traveling the last 2 weeks, so it's struggling. First of all, cyber attacks are driving change. And I want you to think about how important that is. And I want you guys to think about this. How many of you, and feel free to put this in the chat if you guys want, how many of you on the other side can raise your hand and say, I can prevent all client hacks? Nobody's going to say, actually, we had one guy come on here and say, yeah, I can. But we have to understand, you cannot, I don't care where you stand. I don't care where you sit. I don't care any of these things. You're not in a place where you can stop. In fact, I was on the channel program Engage webinar on Friday and had one of the phishing vendors. It was Miles Walker from Bullfish said, we're never going to be able to prevent all phishes. How can you sit there and guarantee that you can do that? Like he's right. Like you can't do that. So when you're in that word, and we got a bunch here, we got guys saying I can't, to be honest. And we know that. That doesn't mean you're a bad MSP. That just means you're dealing with software you can't control and variables you can't control. Software mainly being like Windows and all the other stuff out there. But then we also have all the people that are plugged into it. You can't do anything about that. So what world are we in where we're basically servicing our clients and they're expecting us to protect them, to prevent things? We've been using words like prevention. We've been using words like antivirus, anti-spam, recovery guarantees, all these things across the board. We've been using this language for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm coming up on my 20th year in this industry, Cindy. We've been using all these words. And the bottom line is we can't do it. So not only are cyber attacks driving change, but the cyber insurance on top of it is under attack. They've been paying out claims like crazy. And you know what? They're done being the bank. If you've watched, any of you, especially in the United States, especially in Australia, a good amount in Canada, good amount in the UK, in the last 6 to 12 months, we've watched insurance agencies, liability agencies for you, and end user cybersecurity policies completely evolve. They've went from 3 pages to like 10 to 12 to 15 now because they're doing everything they can to avoid paying a claim. So what happens when your client gets hit and they file an insurance claim? They're coming back and they're saying, Mr. MSP, why didn't you stop this? You had guarantees. You had all these things in place. What's the deal? Because success in your business now is about way more than being a good IT guy or an IT gal or an IT company. We manage your company so you can manage your business, or you manage your IT so you can manage your business. All these different phrases that we put out there that literally just put us in the way of cyber risk and liability for those breaches. So you have to think differently as an MSP owner. So when I talked about how times have changed and you have to think differently, that IT is an essential world, it comes all over to you have to be different than an IT guy now. And you have to understand that the role of your business, the role of the MSP is changing. And you're now responsible for being much more than the tech. Now, you can sell break fix all you want, but you better have, and I'm never going to say break fix is not doable. I'm never going to say that it's not, Cindy and I talk about it as being paid leads. It's great. It's awesome, blah, blah, blah. But you better have a locked, stocked, and rocked master service agreement with every single client outlining what happens when they get breached and when they get breached and how you're not responsible. How many of you break fix guys have that in place? Almost zero. I know that's almost zero because I will tell you, I was a break fix guy for a long time. We just walk in the door. Okay, we'll do the work. Work's done, send you an invoice. That's how it works because it's very abrasive. A lot of friction. Oh, we need to get an agreement signed. Here you go. Oh, this is 12 pages. What am I going to do? I'm not signing this. What do we do? Okay, fine. Don't sign it. I'll do the work anyway. I need it so bad. I'll do the work. So what does that mean for you as the MSP owner? And I want you to be very clear about this. I'm going to be very, very blunt and very clear about this. Your clients are getting hacked. In some capacity, every one of your clients are going to get hacked, breached, phished, whatever, business email compromised, scammed, whatever, sometime in the next weeks to months. Like, it's going to happen. You can't stop it. I don't care what you do. And the bottom line is you're going to get blamed in some capacity. They're going to get mad at the very least because they thought you were doing the stuff, or they're going to file an insurance claim. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they file an insurance claim, it is not going to go well if you don't have every single line dotted, T crossed, I said line dotted, I dotted, T crossed, agreement in place, locked, stocked, and barreled. Like, that is really important because you're now in a place where you have to write an agreement. I mean, I'm going to be also very clear. You're welcome to call any insurance adjuster you want. If you do not have it specified ahead of time and what's going to happen when it happens, you're responsible. It's literally that simple. You can argue with me all you want. You can do nothing all you want. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. We've seen enough issues already. We've seen enough incidents already. I deal with hundreds to thousands of MSPs every week. We see it across the board. Cindy, any feedback on that really quick while I'm thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got an opinion about what they think is going to happen or an opinion about how they should run their business. And one of the things that we know from talking to people inside our program is what's actually happening on a week-by-week basis. And things are changing. They're changing a lot. And it's kind of, Chris, the example we always use, or the one that I like to use, is everybody's really friendly when somebody runs into you in the grocery store parking lot until somebody asks you for your insurance information.
Yeah. Got some good feedback here from Melanie. Melanie's one of our clients. She came, Melanie's really cool because she came from the insurance industry, is what's awesome. But Melanie said insurance companies have to charge a premium commensurate with the risk in order to stay in business. And they're not in business to just pay out claims and have a good time. They're in business to make money, right? And it's all about risk management. She also said, we found that our clients are not filling out the insurance applications correctly, setting them up for denied claims. Spot on, Melanie. Thank you for that. I appreciate the feedback. So you think about all that stuff, guys. So they're going to file an insurance claim. And even let's assume that all of your stuff is in order, you're still going to have to deal with a breach investigation, forensics, all of the back end, maybe probably a breach coach. All these things are going to have to happen. It's going to take time. They're going to lock down the gear. They're going to investigate it all. What's the MSP's way that they often win it? Like, how did we fix antivirus, or how do we fix viruses? Wipe and reload, wipe and reload. Can't do that anymore. It's like wiping down a crime scene now. So you have to prepare yourself, not only in business. And trust me, you will understand. If you've never watched us or talked to us before, you'll understand all of this when you come around to how we're going to position ourselves to sell differently. Because the insurance company is going to investigate, and liability will be handed down. I want you to understand how important this is. And unless you remove that liability, you're going to own it all. Think about a handshake deal with a professional insurance agent or a wealth management firm or a doctor or a lawyer or a CPA. Like all of these things are in places where you are the one that are going to be the one they come after when they have a problem. And I just want to turn on your personal light bulb. I want you to understand, what does gross negligence mean for you? Because if you don't have all these things in order, if you've not at least walked in the door and said, what are you doing about hackers? How are you protecting your bank balance? They're going to be like, what do you mean? What does this have to do with you? Well, if hackers get in to your system and breach your bank account or trick you into sending a wire transfer out, what are you going to do? That's possible. We thought you were taking care of this for us. That's where their heads go. So you have to, at the very least, have a discussion. Propose a cybersecurity risk assessment at the very least. Now, we recommend multiple pieces past this, which Cindy is going to go through. And then some type of remediation plan. Like, here's what or maybe not remediation plan, but an incident response plan. So you have to talk, do some type of education, plan, and then here's what's going to happen when we have a bad day. That is your job now. That's way deeper. So when I talked earlier about your business is now way deeper than being just a tech, you got to get into these business discussions of, first of all, how much money do you have in your bank account, Mr. Client? When's the last time an MSP asked that question? What are you doing to protect your average daily bank balance, Mr. Client? What? How dare you ask me this? Because hackers have access to it. That's why I'm asking you that. They need to understand. And I want you to know that if you don't talk about these things, you own it. And I hope to God that turns on your risk light bulb a little bit, because the amount of MSPs that I see out there in the wild, and I'm on the road at least once a month talking to MSPs in person that are like, holy crap, really? This is real? Like, yes, guys, you have to put these things in place. And if you don't, you're still eating the risk sandwich. So please, at the very least, have a conversation. Do risk assessments, not just free network scans, not the awesome jump drive network scan, whatever that was, right? And I want you to think about why we need to really do cybersecurity risk assessments, real assessments, not this fluff. Why do we need to do real cybersecurity risk assessments? You guys that are here with me live on the webcast, throw that in the chat. Why do we need to do live, real, deep cybersecurity risk assessments? Preferred that you're charging. Cindy, any thoughts on the paid cybersecurity risk assessment?
Well, listen, one, free is not cheap enough. Okay. It's really simple. If you provide something for free, how respected is that by the client? They feel, if they do respect it, they then feel a little bit indebted to you. And early on in a relationship, they don't want to feel indebted, right? They want to be on an even playing field. So that's really a huge, huge thing, right?
Yep. Taylor said one thing here to prevent potential cyber attacks. Travis said to help identify risk and limit your liability. Bazad said help convey our value, shine a spotlight on their blind spots. Let's see what else we got here. Here's another one from Shannon. Had a prospect tell me their lawyer told them they have to have cyber insurance, a simple med spa. My wife owns a med spa. She was told the same thing, for the record. Here's one from Wasim, risk posture of the client. From Marlon, how can you prevent what you don't know?
Exactly.
Shannon again, because it helps show the vulnerability of the company. Protect clients' data. Great feedback, guys. We're going to keep going. Bottom line, all those things, but you can't support sight unseen. And you surely cannot manage your own risk when you take a client without doing a cybersecurity risk assessment. And think about what you would do if you took on a client that's brand new. This also gives you the ability to massively educate the client on the risks of cybersecurity and hacking and all these things. Most of them have no idea. Let's not forget, where they sat is how they still think. And you can use this as this massive differentiation piece and moving them from just a basic plain, I don't even want to call it a network scan because it's probably not even that. Usually it's barely skin deep. But moving to a fully paid actual professional services engagement shows them that you're serious. And doing that cybersecurity risk assessment is absolutely key. Charging for it is even more key. The way you start any relationship is how you're going to do business together. I want that to be very clear. If you walk in the door throwing out freebies, their mind is on commodity. And I want that to be very clear. Okay, I got 2 quick questions for you guys. One, and Cindy, I want to talk about this a little bit, but I want to get some feedback from our viewers here that are with us on the live on the webcast. Number one, why does the cybersecurity risk assessment need to be paid? I wanted to see what you guys were listening and see if you're learning. So throw some stuff into the chat for me. Why does the cybersecurity risk assessment need to be paid? Cindy, any feedback from you?
Okay, so we know people are going to pop in, why they think it needs to be paid. But the big thing is I want you to remember that how you start a relationship with a client puts you on a trajectory. It puts you on a path with that client. And making course corrections, sure, you can do that. But if you start in the wrong place from the very beginning without deep mutual respect for what each business owner brings to the table, then where are you? What happens when you need to make that course correction? It's kind of like, well, you're changing things now, right? So better to start on the right foot right off the bat. And Chris, what I really love about a paid CSRA is very early in the relationship, you get a sense of what's important to the client. Is it just price? Send them to the guy running the Walmart shop. That's not what you're doing, right? Find out what they value.
I love, you guys are listening. I love this so much. A couple other things I'll tell you. Think about the relationship you have with a prospect that works with you that refuses to pay for a cybersecurity risk assessment. Now, I understand this is, again, how they've all done business. They've all kind of learned. But things you have to understand is times have changed. We have to think differently. You have to evolve. You get rid of that head trash that's out there, and you have to start thinking differently. And think about, why does the paid relationship change the relationship between you and the prospect? Cindy and I talk about this all the time. We got some really good comments in the chat going on already. And I'm just going to answer this one because it's pretty clear. But the bottom line is that shared bond of competence, the positioning of the client has changed. Now, if you allow it to be exactly the same, it will. I promise you that. So if you sell, Cindy says this all the time, do what you always did, get what you always got. So if you sell them exactly the same way that you've been selling them for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, nothing's going to change. But if you change how you are selling, if you reframe your mindset and you sell differently, it moves the responsibility over to the client. Mr. Client, I'm here to talk to you about cybersecurity. You're going to get hacked. Here's all the different avenues. Here's all the different ways. I can't stop it anymore. It's okay to be transparent. It's okay to be open about it. It's kind of like, we can't stop. Think about the insurance companies that are out there, risk management agencies. Think about car insurance, automobile insurance. They can't prevent all crashes, but they can help you be ready when one does. They can financially protect you, medically protect you, not necessarily physically, but the cars have been forced to put protections in place by who? You think the car dealers said, or the car manufacturer said, oh, let me add all this expense to my car manufacturing process by putting in airbags around the entire car? They're doing that because the governments mandated it. They're also doing that because they were given money from the governments. They were pushed. They were also not held liable by insurance companies. The insurance companies are the ones accelerating this entire process. And if you put your client in between you and the insurance company, they're like, oh, You mean I'm actually responsible for making my people to care? I have to put MFA in, and I understand. Oh, shoot. Now I understand why. It's not just an annoying thing that the doctors are yelling at me for. It's that shared bond of competence and your clients refuting a charge of gross negligence when that happens. Think about this. If they get hacked and you don't talk to them about this, they could be like, well, Melanie never talked to me about this, so I didn't know. It's not my fault. They didn't tell me. They're my IT guy. Versus, oh, crap. They sat me down. They showed me the cybersecurity risk assessment, the CSRA results that I paid for, and they put me in a place where I understand. This goes into detail, and I got a really deep giveaway for you guys today that we're going to come back to the end that talks about all this stuff. That's our cybersecurity risk assessment guide. We're going to give away at the end. Here's a little overview for you guys. All the things that we do that are so much deeper and justifies the cost, shows why it should happen, and puts the pieces in place to say, I tried to tell you you're going to get hacked. You thumbed your nose at me, told me it's overkill. We don't need this. Put this in place. Don't do light scans. Don't do light assessments. Do not skip steps. Go into things like the network scan, but also look at the data. Look at the dark web. Look at your cloud. Look at all those things. Look at the user behavioral testing around phishing and their behaviors around logins and password policies and actual password storage. Had a client, Cindy, on the onboarding call this morning telling me that he found 4 credit card numbers from the CEO during a cybersecurity risk assessment, found it on people's computers in the business because he had given them, like, handed them their card. Like, think about what happens. Hey, just use the company card. Just use the company card. Credit card numbers all over the place. And they were a retail outlet. Massive PCI compliance violations, but things that will turn the risk light bulb on for those owners. And we have to lead the decision makers, the people across the seats from you, across the table from you. We have to lead them to a place where in their head, I need risk management. I need to have protections, not prevention. I need protections so we can have a plan when we get breached. They have to understand it's going to happen. And that need, so people ask me all the time, Chris, first of all, no longer are we getting 2 years ago, it was like, you can't get to $300 per seat. That's BS. Now we're not getting that anymore, for the record. Now we're getting, how are you getting people to $300 per seat? We are doing the paid cybersecurity risk assessment. It's literally this simple. We're doing the paid cybersecurity risk assessment. We're delivering the results, prefaced by massive amounts of education during the sales presentation, for the record. The sales presentation, it's a sales presentation disguised as a here's why you need cybersecurity presentation is what it is. They're so educated that they come to their own deduction. Holy crap, we need this. We really, really need this. If we don't have this, when we get hacked, what are we going to do? Think of the mindset of the decision maker when they're sitting across the table and they have that oh shit look on their face. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was like this. That need creates massive emotion. That need eliminates the price objection. That's the whole point. Now, I'm never saying, for the record, side note, we are never, ever, ever, ever saying, go rip your client off for $300 a seat. Put $1 of tools in and charge them $300. We're saying, put the best tool set in that you should have, educate your client that they need cybersecurity, that they need all these things in place, that they need all of this stuff. And then you can actually afford, because you're charging the right way, which is our $300 per seat model is your costs of goods sold plus an 80% margin. That's what our baseline is on 36 months. That's it. Like, this stuff isn't crazy. It's simple and it works and it sells. But if you suck at this part, if you suck at turning on the risk light bulb, no, you guys see Melanie Padron talking in here. Melanie's one of our star students in our coaching program. Melanie has been working in MSP land for like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, not that long. Melanie, feel free to correct me in the chat. She came from insurance industry. What is she really good at? Turning on the risk light bulb. Doesn't matter what platform. She has now transformed that into talking about cybersecurity and cyber risk, and is going into their prospects, creating need with an emotional tie-in. And that emotional tie-in accelerates decisions and removes objections. That's it, guys. Like, this is not some rocket science stuff, but this is so absolutely key that you're not, what have I not talked one thing about? I've not talked about tools, tech, gigabytes, servers, backups, none of that stuff that the clients do not care about. It is 100% completely irrelevant. What is relevant is making sure they realize you can't stop all the hacks, and they need to be prepared so their insurance claim gets paid. What if you woke up tomorrow, Mr. Client, and half the money in your checking account was gone? What would you do? What would you do if the bank didn't cover it? What would you do if insurance denied your claim? None of you can sit on the other end of this webcast and tell me that you are prepared to cover that if you don't do your jobs. Like, it's that simple. So it's making sure that all of this stuff is in line and you communicate about it so there's plausible deniability across the board. That's it. I'm all ramped up today, Cindy. Can you tell? Like, I'm fired up.
Just
Fired up.
tiny bit ramped up.
Final thing for me, and then we're going to hear from Cindy. How do we free emotions? You have to build rapport during a really good trust building situation. You have to build trust along the way. You have to make sure they're educated so you can ask questions, so you can answer questions. Our sales process, what we do is we eliminate every variable we can. We handle every objection we can along the way. And then we're prepared to deal with kind of predictable client objections and kind of predictable issues. And then we talk about the consequences. And all of, I don't know, consequences. That's a new one.
That.
But the true motivations around that and how creating that need is all wrapped in emotional response. It's really key stuff. I can't get any deeper than that. Okay, I'm going to bring Cindy on. I got to back down. I'm all hot now. So, Cindy, I'm going to share your screen really quick here.
Okay.
Add you to the stage. This is the first time Cindy's ever done this, guys. I want you really to be thinking of that in your heads, okay? Here we go. Cindy.
Okay, I'm excited. All right, so what I'm going to be sharing with you is the why. Why cybersecurity is the wedge issue and why it's driving change at an individual level and how you can leverage that change that's going to happen at an individual level to help your decision makers have full autonomy and authority in making a decision that puts them in business with someone that they have a shared bond of competence with. And that's really the thing that changes here. And what makes that change happen, what makes it work, I want you to light up the chat for me, but what makes that work is how we approach the client, okay? So am I going the right way? Here I am. Okay, so do you want to make more money or do you want to manage your risk? Which one of those two things drives you the most? Make more money or manage your risk? Which one is it? Tell me in the chat. What drives you the most? Make money or manage risk? Which one drives you the most? Which one drives you the most? And you guys can tell me. Both. Okay, Marlon says both, which is awesome. Matthew says both. Ooh, double awesome. Okay, everybody's saying both. Woo-hoo. All right.
Jameson said manage my risk.
Okay, Scott said make money.
Said make money, yeah.
Which is a happy thing. Okay, making money with low risk. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we can see that there's interest in both. But here's the thing that's really, really interesting. It's a false choice. I set you up a little bit there when I said, hey, you want this or you want that? Because you both, most of you accurately identified that we've got to do it, that we've got to do both, that we've got to make more money because we've got to have more money to manage our risk. Now, is there anything more sad than talking to a managed service provider that's making low single digits margins in their businesses. And they get a price increase from the tool provider, and all of a sudden they're upside down. They're not cash flow positive. Things are terrible. How do we get there? We get there because we're unwilling to have tough conversations with clients. We get there because we don't recognize that we need to make more money and we need to manage risk. We need to do both. And so we need to constantly be looking at the health and welfare of our own business. I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times. You put your own oxygen mask on first, right? So let me just ask you, how are you doing on managing your own risk with profit? How are you doing on managing your own risk with profit? Are you doing a good job of that? Or are you kind of, I don't know. I don't know if we can raise the price. I can't tell you how many times people come into the program and they're asking, oh, I don't know. So here's what happened about 10, 15, 20 years ago. Technical people got brainwashed that making money was a bad thing. Technical people got told that IT was a commodity and we're going to outsource this because it's cheaper. And all of a sudden, we had a race to the bottom. So, what happens when everybody races to the bottom? Nobody can survive. You don't have a strong business. Now, I contend that you are in this position because you fundamentally do not understand your prospect. So, who's down to play a game? Do you guys want to play a game called Understand Your Prospect? So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your last prospect. Now, this could be a client, or this can be the last person you talked to at a BNI meeting or a chamber of business, whatever. The last person you talked to about IT services. Put that person in your head right now. You got it? Got them in your head? Okay, now here's what I want you to do. I want you to answer the following questions in the chat. This only works for the people. I don't know if it works for everybody, but you guys are lighting up the chat, so I'm assuming we're good. I want you to answer these questions in the chat. You ready? Okay, question number 1. Last month, I'm getting my supercomputer out here. Last month, my prospect made this much money. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about that last prospect, okay? Let's say, for example, someone mentioned they had a med spa company. Okay, med spa company. How much business do they do a month? How many, little injection filler things do they do? How many facials? Add up all the money they make in a month. How much is it? So I want you guys to light up in the chat. How much money did your client make in the last month? Bazad, love your answer. You didn't ask. Awesome. That's an awesome answer. Somebody has to know how much money one of their prospects made. And if not, you're going to make my point for me. Here's the thing. When you don't know how much money they're making, how much money do they have at risk? How much money can the criminals go get, right? You can't really tell exactly, right? You can't tell. So you have to know how much money they're making. Most MSPs are like, dude, I don't want to ask how much money they're making. That's kind of private information, isn't it? No. Remember, the business is not the person you're talking to. The business is a separate entity. The business needs to be protected. Okay. So you need to know how much money is flowing through the business. Now, when you know how much money they made, then the second question you have to ask yourself is how much cyber risk do they have? So, how much cyber risk do you think your last prospect actually has? So let's play a game here. Cyber risk. Let me give you an example. You've got a mortgage brokerage company that's come to you. They want service. They've been in business for 10 years. They handle 100 mortgages a month. Okay. So that's 1,200 mortgages a year. They've been in business for 10 years. So that's 12,000 mortgage applications. How many of those do you think they deleted that they do true data management on, that they expunged? Or do you think they have 12,000 records out there that could be hijacked, that all have valid PII? You know they're out there. So here's the point. Revenue may be somewhat related to cyber risk, or it may just be the tip of the iceberg. Do you see that? Let me know in the chat if you get it, that revenue and cyber risk, while they may travel together, cyber risk can be substantially greater than revenue. Do you see that? Okay, now what I want you to do So we're going to get out your massive supercomputer here, and I want you to take your fee. So let's take the example that was in the chat. Matthew Miller, you had a client that was making 1.5 million. Was that 1.5 million a month or 1.5 million a year? We'll say it was a month because that's what I asked you for. Okay. They're making $1.5 million a month. How much was your fee that you were going to quote them? Okay. You're going to quote them a fee. How much was their fee? So let's take that fee and let's say, for example, I don't know, how much was that fee? Take that fee and divide it by the 1.5 million and give me the percentage of your fee in prospect revenue. Now, this is usually an eye-opening moment when we do this, okay? It's usually an eye-opening moment. So, Matthew, you didn't put in how much you were going to charge them a month, right? But if you did, we'd be able to do the math. Or you can just put in what percentage it is, because you may have a supercomputer as well, or you may be using one of these things to calculate stuff. Or you might just be doing it.
I have a TI-85.
Huh?
I have a TI-85.
You have a TI-85 because you are the bomb. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to see what that fee is as a function of prospect revenue. And what I'm going to tell you is that the industry average for this in real businesses that take security seriously is a minimum of somewhere between 3 and 6%. We've even seen as high as 10%. Let me say that again, 3 to 6 to 10%. That's the range. Is that where your fees are? Now, take your fee and look at that fee as a percentage of your prospect cyber risk, and I will guarantee you it is a much lower number. And now, all of a sudden, the game is different, right? Because we're thinking about the fee in an entirely different way, okay? Here's another way of thinking about your fee. Your fee helps protect your client's average daily bank business of balance of how much? Because you're helping them protect the money. It's all about the money. And what is your deal gross margin right now? Where is that? Now, we're not getting a lot of activity here in the chat, and I'm kind of going at this kind of quickly. So let me just ask you a very, very simple question, and that's this. Do you get it? Do you get how this is different, about how we're thinking about it differently? Give me a hell yeah in the chat if you get how this is fundamentally different than the way you've looked at it before. Do you get it? Travis does. Bazad does. Okay, what about the rest of you? Are you sitting there going, wait a minute? I feel like I just saw a magic trick? Because no, you did not see a magic trick. What you saw was a very careful exposure of what you're really involved in here. You may have been just a little bit asleep at the wheel with regard to what you are involved in. And if you don't limit your liability, then you don't understand how exposed you really are. Okay? So this all matters. All of this matters, and it matters deeply. So when you look at your gross margin, then you've got to calculate your net margin. This is why we say take your cost of goods sold, including labor, multiply by 5, give yourself an 80% margin so that you have enough cash flow coming into the business to weather the change that you'll be facing. Because as we asked before, how many of your clients will be breached, right? And I understand that it can be terrifying to think that you're going to ask people what they make in a month, but I'll show you how to position that when we get into Q&A. Chris, remind me to come back and position that for people.
Yeah,
so
for you guys that are asking a lot of questions, we can answer every one of them for you, but you got to bring it to Q&A because we got to stay in sequence here for Cindy.
Yeah. So anyway, you know that the number of clients that are going to get breached is a non-zero number. How many of those breach clients will sue you when insurance gets involved? You know that's going to happen as well. So it's very, very important to have a process that you use that's part of your sales process that helps you mitigate and manage your own risk. So let me just ask you this. Is your risk light bulb, is that light bulb on? Is your risk light bulb on? Do you see why we have to do things differently? Right? Do you see why we're going to have to do things differently? Okay. So here's the thing. If your risk light bulb is on, let's just go. Let's finally get with it and let's go. So using the mindset that Chris talked about earlier, I want you to remember that you're no longer in the IT support business, right? We're in the business of making sure that money flows. So now we're going to have a different conversation, and that's this. What should your services cost? Okay. What happens when you turn on the risk light bulb for the business owner and you've got your own risk light bulb turned on? All of a sudden, bingo, baby, you realize that free is not cheap enough. You can't just give this away. You can't just take your cost and mark it up 20%, cross your fingers and hope everything turns out okay, because it doesn't happen like that, right? So when you turn your own risk light bulb on, what happens is you have this moment where you get like a titanium backbone and you're like, no, we don't work that way. Okay. Sure, you can go find somebody else to do it, but that's not us, baby, because that is not how we do things. So let's see what happens when you decide you want to manage your own risk and you want clients that respect what it is that you do and understand how the fundamental flow of money has changed in the world economy. Did you guys know that $10 trillion is going into the pockets of criminals out of $105 trillion worldwide GDP? I want you to imagine going to the grocery store. Everybody goes to the grocery store, right? Go to the grocery store, get your bill. Oh, you're going to pay $200 for groceries this week? Okay, put $20 in the criminal bucket right there at the checkout, because that's going through all supply chains everywhere. So take your total contract monthly revenue. And I know we've got people on the call who are at zero right now because they got brand new businesses. But if you have monthly contract revenue, MRR, I want you to take that monthly contract revenue and I want you to divide it by the total number of endpoints that are in your RMM. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take MRR and we're going to divide it by the number of endpoints in your RMM. And the reason we're going to do that is when you put this number in, I'm going to know exactly how you sell. Now, the average for people coming into our system is $68 per endpoint. Okay. But I want you to do the math right now. And I want you to figure out where you are, because it's super important. Because if you're under $68, you're in commodity land, baby. And that's really a hard place to be.
I'd say even under $100 a seat is kind of commodity land.
If you're under $100, you're in what I call the red line zone.
Yeah. Now here's what I'll say to this. I know, because immediately your guys' heads are going to go to, well, I only have help desk. Okay. What should you be offering? I want you to think about this. You should be offering and we call this the precious metals plans, the silver, the gold, the platinum, blah, blah, blah. I understand that those are options, and I understand that you could offer that, but think of the liability that comes along with it. Now, if you have all those stuff in place and you have a great MSA and you've had the caveat conversation and blah, blah, like fine. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, but if you're sitting there as an IT person, and most MSPs, and I'm going to say like 95% of MSPs that we know are good people and they want to deliver, what should you be offering? The good, the better, or the best? We know the answer. You should be offering the best. And if you went into your client and said, oh, you have unlimited budget? Here's my offer. That's what you should be offering. The way that we're talking about selling this gives you the ability to sell it that way and to be able to make money and to be able to actually run a business that's profitable.
Okay. Now, once you've got your number, and a couple of people have put it in the chat, so thank you. Most people haven't. I know why. Anyway, I want you to take that number, and what I want you to do now is I want you to take half of the seats in your RMM. I want you to take your base number, say it's $68. I want you to add $100, $100. Take $100 times half of your seats, and that's what you should do in our program, should you choose to join our program. So let me make it really simple. You got 200 seats, and your average price is $100 a seat. That's $20,000 in MRR. Not everybody's going to upgrade when you offer them an upgrade opportunity. Half of them will at least. So that's $100, 100 endpoints. You're going to raise your fee at least $100. That's going to give you another $10,000 a month in MRR. So in 180 days, you should be able to go from 20 grand to 30 grand in MRR. Naturally, the bigger the book of business you have, the bigger the potential gains, right? Or the more number of deals you do, if you've got a brand new business, the more deals you do, the bigger the gains, right? And that's what happens. And that's why we say that cash flow solves all problems. So when we do our program, you start with your installed base. And the reason we do that is because that's where your risk lies and that's where your relationship lies. And when you go back to those folks, you get to practice on people who've told you no before. So say hell yeah in the chat if you've ever had a client tell you, I don't want multi-factor. I don't want password management. I see no reason to train my people, right? I don't know that I need backups all the time. I mean, remember all the times clients have told you no to good, solid technical solutions that you've offered them? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're seeing some of those hell yeahs come in. So, here's the thing that behavior's got to stop. And you've got to have a conversation with them in a manner that gives you the authority to present to them that you no longer do business this way because things have changed. Okay. So the reason we do this is because cybersecurity is the wedge issue. It has changed everything. And you need to stop eating the risk sandwich. No matter how comfortable it is to be where you are, trust me, life is so much sweeter when you start facing the risk head on and looking at every one of your clients and asking the question, do they deserve to be your client? Do they? Because if you're eating that risk sandwich today, you can't stay in business. And we can teach you how to pivot that conversation and escape that IT commodity sales trap and run the play. And here's how we do it. We start with a very methodical, logical sales process that's going to appeal to your nerd brain. Okay. Number one, there's a first call. We build trust. Number two, there's a discovery call. We find out where they're broken. Where is the pain? At the end of that discovery call, we pivot and we offer them the opportunity to have a cybersecurity risk assessment where we can help them understand what they need to do in their business. And we dig deep and we do a very thorough cybersecurity risk assessment. We don't run something light. We don't do something simple to just have a superficial conversation because we are not doing superficial, baby. We're not doing superficial conversations anymore. And when we come back with our cybersecurity risk assessment findings, we have a conversation about the findings and we ask them a pivot question where we pivot the responsibility and we pivot the decision to the business owner. The person who owns the business takes the risk, they get the reward. Here's another risk you need to manage. How do you want to handle that? And only after they invite us in and say, hey, I'd like your help. Hey, I respect what you've done here. I want to know more. Only then do we offer our recommendations on what they should do to manage their risk. Only then. And what this means is that when we actually get to the closing table where we have offered a solution, they were open to hearing about it and wanted to know the price. So their level of buy-in before we even lay a number on the table is sky high. And that makes a change in your conversions. We then do onboarding and we make onboarding a 90-day process. And in that process, we bring on additional tools that they've told us no before. They've told us before, oh, no, I don't want that. Well, guess what? When you get service from us, boom, here's the service. You don't get to pick and choose. This is what it is. One service across all your clients. I wonder what that's going to do to your service delivery efficiency, right? And then what we do, we have a 30-day review with them. We confirm success. We get a video testimonial, and we do our first quarterly security review with them 90 days in. Now, what happens when you do this every single time. What happens when you do this every single time? What happens is your success rate goes up dramatically. So Frank had a question. What's in the actual CSRA? Frank, here's where it starts. It starts with a executive sponsor meeting. We're going to get all the decision makers in the room, and we're going to get them to tell everybody on the staff, hey, we're doing a cybersecurity risk assessment. And here's why it's important. And here's why you're going to participate. That's called buy-in. That's called early buy-in. Then we're going to interview all those people and find out how the operation works. We're also going to do a security policy interview. Do they actually have policies? You know the answer is no. We're going to plant the seeds of where their gaps are in the questions that we ask. We're going to do a physical environment inspection, and we're going to find all those nice, beautiful little stickies that are underneath the laptops that have all the passwords on them. We're going to find that they let anybody walk into the facility. We're going to find out that they even fell for the guy coming in the overalls with the name on the tag, right? All the social engineering stuff. Then we're going to do the network review. That's going to be easy for you. You're probably going to excel at that, but that's not the only thing we do. Then we're going to review the data. We're going to look for all machines, even the ones that are in the closet that they tell you they never hook up to the network, but secretly are hooked up to the network. You know they are. Then we're going to ask, where's the intellectual property? What would your competitors want? Where's your CRM? Where's that data held? Oh, it's in the cloud. You think hacks don't happen in the cloud? 82% of all hacks are in the cloud. Then we're going to look at the users. We're going to ask the question, do only the right people get access to only the information they need from the locations they should be in? Or is it the wild, wild west and anybody can get to anything from anywhere, right? We're going to look in the dark web. We're going to find out how many of their people have been exposed in a dark web breach. And you know, especially since the recent Verizon hack, that everybody's been hacked and their stuff is out there. So, as they used to say on The Wire, you're in the game, baby. And then we're going to do a team behavior test that goes over 30 days. Now, we take 30 days to do all of this, and here's the big why on that. When you take 30 days, it means you're going out every week and having meetings and interviews and collecting data, and you're fishing over and over and over again. You get down to the end of 30 days, you put your sales presentation together, and you have a true representation of how this business operates. This is not something that you put on automatic, set it and forget it. So now, do you understand why we charge for this? Say hell yeah if you understand why we charge for it. And do you know why you're different when you do it this way? I always say that the cybersecurity risk assessment is the single most important piece of work you will ever do. You truly differentiate yourself with this. You do not cut corners. You do not skip steps. You show your competence and your thoughtfulness in doing this. And because you do that, when you get to the point where you ask the business owner, how do they want to manage their risk? They're going to look at you and they're going to want to be in your team. They're going to want to be in your boat. They're going to want to be with you. So, how are you managing your risk? Because you have a risk in your business. Whether you have 0 customers or whether you have 200, you have risk in your business. And you need to make an informed decision about what you want to do to manage your risk. And you can go from $68 a seat to 300 plus by running the same play every single time. And you can do this. You can do this on every client. And you can do this every time. And then you can ask the question, what does my business look like now? This is basically the how we get it done. But the piece that's most important for you right now is to realize that when you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. So when you look inside your business, my genuine ask for you today is, are you happy with what you've got? Do you want something better? Do you want to dream bigger for your business? Do you want to have more cash flow? so that you can do the things you want to do in your business? If the answer to that is yes, this is a method that can help you get there. Chris, back to you.
All right, cool. Okay. Got a couple things going for the rest of you guys. Got a few minutes. We're going to do Q&A in a few minutes here as well. I want you to think about also, so we talked about a lot of risk from the side of your stack, from all the different things out there and what your clients might see and all these different things. But I want you to think about how deep some of the back end stuff might be. First of all, do your clients have any type of cybersecurity insurance? Every single one of your clients, as far as I'm concerned, it's your job to advise them. Now, I understand they have an insurance broker, blah, blah, blah. We both know they should have it. Ask them, do you have cybersecurity insurance? You should have a $2 million policy, Mr. Client, or whatever, minimum. Like, small company, it should be, I think there's a multiple for how much revenue they have, but they should have at least a $2 million policy. That's critical. But also, do you have cybersecurity insurance? Cybersecurity liability insurance, also internal cybersecurity insurance. Then there's also the supply chain side. I think that kind of comes under the liability side, but I want you to think about that. You both should have them. And this gives you a really good talking point to bring in a local insurance rep. Side note, pro tip, what a better referral relationship or a networking relationship than a local independent insurance agent? Really good. Okay. Another thing, do you have the legal side of your business tight? So we're talking about all the risk side, the gross negligence, all these things. None of this matters if you don't have a good master service agreement with a good SLA, with a good statement of work, with good incident response. All those things should be talked about inside of your MSA. If it's not, you better reload. You need a way to talk to them about this stuff. That's where this entire system really is key. You also should be doing quarterly business reviews. We also call them technology business reviews. So QBRs, TBRs, all those things should be in play. Really key. So you heard me mention the SLA. I also like the service level objective. The thing with the SLA is it's built into your MSA, your master service agreement, and then you have a service level agreement under that. You also could have a service level objective. Just kind of agreement means you have to give something when you violate it. No problem with that. A lot of people were arguing with me over the weekend about I don't want to have a 3-year agreement with my client. It's locking them into me. Every agreement should have a performance-based out. That's how, we're not saying hold people hostage here. We're saying you should have an agreement in place with terms. And if you suck as an MSP, they can go. You can also let them out anytime. There should be we suck revisions in your agreement. Or provisions is the right word. There should be we suck provisions. I probably wouldn't call it that. But you get my point. If you are negligent, they can get out. You have time to remediate. If you don't, they can get out, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're not happy, you can always let somebody out. But if they're just wanting to leave, to go to the lowest price guy, you should surely be, because you got to put a lot of time in, a lot of effort in. Most of our costs are on the front side of these agreements. Run your business like it's real and it's professional. Like I have an annual agreement with my CPA. I have an annual agreement with my tax advisor. I have a 3-year lease term on my office. Like none of this stuff's crazy, guys. It's to protect revenue and to protect yourself. That's what it's there for. So think about all that stuff. But also at the very least, as you're reviewing these things, I'm not saying everybody's going to sign. We're recommending you go back into every single existing client, run a CSRA, present the results to them, show them that they need more. If they decline, okay, we'll still service your account. But when you get breached, here's what's going to happen. It's called an incident response plan. We call this a letter that we give them a risk acceptance notification letter. The insurance company or insurance industry does this all the time. If your risk level changes, boom, 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 here's what we're going to do. So if you get breached, we advised you to put all these things in. When you get breached, here's how we're going to handle it. That's called a risk acceptance letter. Also, on top of that, you heard me mention the incident response. Incident response planning should be something you're doing honestly, all the time. at the minimum once a quarter is what I recommend. Some type of an incident response plan. We all just agreed earlier on the call, you can't stop all breaches, you can't stop all hacks, phishes, business email compromises, all this other stuff. You can't stop it, but yet nobody's having the conversation with their clients. You're going to get hacked. Here's what we're going to do when you do. All this gives you a reason to talk about cybersecurity. We need to do a cybersecurity risk assessment. We don't know where you sit. Just give me an estimate. I can't. It's literally no. Like, it's okay to say no to that kind of stuff. Okay. So those are all things you should be putting in place at a minimum on your side. Good news is we can help you with that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. Got some questions that I know came up in here. I want to hit Q&A time. We got a bunch of stuff to go over yet, guys. Plus we got prizes, but there were some questions that came in. Cindy, if anybody's got a question that you want us to answer, please throw it in the chat right now, in the comments here live on the webcast. Okay.
Okay.
The only questions we're going to answer live are the people that joined our webinar itself. So if you're watching on a live stream somewhere, it'll get answered later by one of our team, but live with us, put your stuff in the chat. I got a couple that we're going to go back to. Cindy, did you say you had something?
Yeah. So Tammy asked a great question. How do you explain to clients who don't have cyber liability insurance that you're not liable if they are breached, even though you sell them antivirus and whatever other services they agreed to?
So there's a couple things with this. First of all, if you're not doing all the stuff that we're talking about, and antivirus is not going to get you very far, I'll tell you that. Second thing, if you're not doing all the stuff that we're talking about, they probably are going to hold you liable. They're probably going to, I'm not an insurance adjuster. Melanie can actually probably speak to this because she worked for an insurance company. I think she's watching still. But the bottom line with this is, unless you're doing a bunch of stuff to show them different, you're probably going to get named. That's just, I don't know, but I mean, it's possible, right?
Yeah.
So Tammy, thanks for putting yours in there. That's Cindy. I don't want and Melanie, if you're watching, feel free to throw in the chat what your thoughts are.
So here's another one from Frank at 414.
Well, really quick, Cindy, before we go on, what was your thoughts on that one?
So,
or any thoughts?
Yeah. So the thing is, so Tammy, it's a tough conversation. And the problem that you have to do is you have to help the prospect or the client understand that things have changed and cyber attacks are way up. So we're doing things differently. And one of the things that happened in our industry is just because we had tools called antivirus, just the name of that tool makes you think you're 100% clean if you have it. And that's simply not the case anymore. And the biggest way that we know that is true, and you can use this almost verbatim with your client, but the biggest way money is being taken out of businesses today is through fake emails and wire transfer fraud. And so even though we have antivirus, that's not going to stop those kinds of attacks. And we've got literally hundreds of examples where companies have sent money and it's just gone. It's like in a black hole. My favorite one, Chris, was about that real estate broker. The title company called up and said, hey, do you really want us to send the proceeds of this last sale to this new bank account? And the real estate broker said, did my girl tell you to do that? They said, yeah, we got an email request that said, send it to a new bank account. Well, it turned out the real estate broker had really changed banks that week. The hackers had been inside their business, knew that the accounts had changed.
Wow.
And the title company actually said, wait, you changed it once. Now you're changing it a second time. Are you sure? And the broker was on a showing, was busy, wasn't thinking about it, and just, got really directive with them and said, make it so, like that. And poof, because it went offshore, right? Yeah. So having stories like that to be able to explain to people what's going on. When I say that, hey, you're checking out at the grocery store and you're putting $20 in the criminal bucket every time you check out with $200 worth of groceries, it takes those kinds of examples to get it to click in people's heads that it's happening all over the place.
They just really, like, the thing that you have to massively break through to these people, they're going to get hit. Like, you can't stop it. They have this false sense of security. It's almost like, they're like, oh, I got a blanket on and it's whatever your MSP is. That's my blanket and I'm good and I'm safe. It's not real. It's not true. And they have to understand that. And the last thing, and really quick, I'm going to bring this up here because Melanie answered my question. Here's what Melanie said. Our own business insurance has caused us to raise our level of service. We can no longer assume responsibility for your security. Unless you implement our recommendations, we issue a risk acceptance letter holding us harmless for your risk.
I love the way you wrote that, Melanie.
Well,
It's just beautiful.
You tell she lived in like insurance land.
Yeah, she lived in insurance land. I'm going to swipe that. Okay, so Chris, there's another one from Frank, and Frank's asking,
can you show it on the screen? You should be able to click show. If you put your mouse over it.
I put my mouse over it. Okay. Yeah.
We gotta have this. We gotta have this educational session.
We gotta have training for Cindy. It's at 4:14 p.m. and it's from Frank.
Okay, hold on. I'm going back. Is this it?
Oh yeah. That's totally it. Okay, you'll have to show me how to do that later.
Good thing I'm good at it. Jeez.
Yeah, you are good at it. Okay, so here's the thing, Frank. We don't care what tools you use. We can give you choices. We can talk about tools that people inside the program have used that do things. But yeah, there's like a ton of tools out there. Give you a real shorthand answer. Okay. We love breach. Well, can I say love? We love Breach Secure now.
You can say whatever tool you want. Here's the thing, guys. We are tool agnostic. We have a bunch of tools that we're showing you to start with, included in our cybersecurity risk assessment guide that you all are gonna get for watching. I got a QR code. I got a URL.
Oh, how cool! I didn't know.
Yeah. So we got all that stuff coming. But the bottom line is, the task with this isn't about the tool. It's about you gathering the information. You can literally go out there and gather it by hand if you have to, and then how you present it to them. That's what really matters. So got another question from Bazad here.
On how to get them to share revenue numbers you asked.
How do we get our clients or our prospects, more importantly, your clients in the beginning, so you start to learn and evolve, to share revenue numbers? Usually ask about IT budget allocated to services, but hard to get info on revenue, or maybe just shy. I guarantee you, first of all, it's number 2, Bazad. You're shy about this. Cindy, I'll give you a second here. Thing number 2 on this, they will give this information to a insurance sales rep on day 1 of they're in the field, because it's assumed. So you have to educate them as to why it's important. That's 99% of this. Here's mine. And even if they say, oh, I don't feel comfortable giving that. Okay, let's run a sample scenario, Mr. Client. Let's say you come into work tomorrow and you got your checking account. You know how much money's in your checking account, right? Okay. Yep. Good. Okay. You have to tell me, what if half that money's gone tomorrow? Oh, that's not the most I've ever seen, for the record. Cindy, I think you're going to echo this because we both saw this together. The most we've seen was $8 million taken in a breach. This was a ransom scenario, but it was a breach. The most I've seen in an actual fake business email compromise wire, 1.4 million.
Right.
So I don't care. And you're welcome to quote that. I know a peer that lost 8 million. I know a peer that had a client lose 1.4 million. These are real wire numbers from the United States, Canada, Australia. The numbers are real. And most businesses, their payroll accounts go pretty much unmonitored unless it's payroll time. The time for that money to be gone internationally and non-recoverable is 72 hours, potentially less, depending on the bank, depending on the situation. So just imagine, let's rerun this role play. Mr. Client, okay, I understand you don't want to give me how much money is in your checking account or your bank account. That's fine. Just imagine you came in tomorrow and half the money in your operating account is gone. And you assumed in your head, and maybe you even ask them, what would you do? Assuming it has nothing to do with me, what would you do? Call the bank? Bank has no protections for that. Did you know that? In the United States, they have something called FDIC. That doesn't secure a wire transfer deposit. That only secures you if the bank fails. And honestly, that doesn't even work that well. We saw that in the last 6 to 9 months here in the States. Yeah, so what would you do if that money's gone? Oh, you'd file an insurance claim. Okay. Do you have cybersecurity insurance? Just sit there and wait. Do you have cybersecurity insurance? Okay. What if the cybersecurity insurance came back and denied your claim because you weren't doing enough in your business? Why don't we bring in your insurance agent and let's walk it through. Let's book another call. So you see how I'm you got to be that on your game. None of this has to do with tech tools. How many RMMs you got? Most MSPs got like 4 RMMs all the time. They're just like dealing with different ones. 0 of this has to do with the tools you have. It has everything to do with how you communicate with them, knowing the sales process, being ready, practicing. This is about sales psychology now and objection handling prediction. That's why you have a process, so you can predict what the objections are going to be. Okay, Cindy, I'm going to shut up. I'll let you keep going.
Okay, so I want to just help everybody with this question. This is how you do it. Okay. So thanks for taking time to meet with me today. Obviously, you're going to have questions for me. I'm going to have questions for you. And at the end of this meeting, we'll make a decision about what the next step is that we take. I need to get a little background information from you. So we know this is, quote, whatever kind of company, right? What are your annual sales? How many locations and how many employees? Those 3 questions give me a real good high spot estimate on the complexity of your firm. So I know you don't necessarily want to share with me what your annual sales are. You're privately held. I understand that. But you have shared this information with your insurance agents. And what it does is it helps me understand the flow of money through your business and how big a risk you are from a security perspective. So what are your annual sales? What's your annual sales target for this year? Are you on track or are you off track? Those are the kinds of questions that a professional business consultant is going to ask and expects to get information on. So in your head, when you're feeling shy about this, right? What I want you to do is I want you to remember that everybody asks these questions that's operating at a professional consulting level. You're not a commodity guy anymore. Okay? So that's how it works. And you need a certain amount of information to diagnose before you can prescribe the solution. And they're going to get a bespoke solution.
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
Side
So
note.
hopefully that helped. Did that help?
Mhm.
Oh, I got a thanks.
Yeah,
So there we go.
That was good. That was great. Yeah.
Okay.
Side note, if anybody's we got like probably time for one more question here before we keep moving on. So if you got a question for me and Cindy live that's been here on the webcast with us, please ask. But side note, while we're waiting on that, this is from, I don't know if you can read it. Can you read that, Cindy?
Oh, yeah.
So this is, Doug joined last week, Friday.
I'm so excited.
Program. Doug just had paperwork sent out for first paid CSR. This guy's been in the program a day. Joined Friday, went through onboarding today. That's the kind of stuff that our program does, guys. Paperwork sent out for first paid MSP.
Oh, I just love this, Chris.
So here's a question from David. I'm a new one-man MSP just getting started. At what point would you recommend I get cybersecurity? I mean, honestly, here's the thing. So people come to me and they're like, oh, I thought I could start up an MSP for free. Not anymore. Sorry, you can't do it anymore. You need it on day one. Good question of this. I'm going to flip verticals to medical. My wife owns a med spa. What day should she have medical liability malpractice insurance? You have to. It's required by law to have it before you start. That's common in this industry, guys. So in medical, it is mandated by law that you have malpractice before you start. So there's your answer. You should have that on day one. Chris, that's expensive. You should have. My recommendation to anybody starting an MSP, $50K nest egg. That's my.
You gotta have startup money.
You gotta have startup money. Like you have to be in a.
Yeah, you gotta have startup money.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my, and I know that's probably not a great answer, David. I get it. It's somebody told you it's awesome to start up an. I love the industry. I'm a huge fan of the industry. I've made my life here. I get it. But you can no longer start in this industry with zero. There's guys that'll argue till the cows come home. Fine, that's fine. You can start up from zero. But look, your brain is like, holy cow, and that's it. Like, so how long are you willing to risk? You got to wait that. Should be day one. Okay, so got a couple more questions here. Matthew said, what's the general amount billed for a CSRA? Our recommendation, let's see if Cindy put this in the chat. She did. $150 per person with a $1,500 minimum. I agree with that. Cindy calls her minimum. Cindy, what do you call that?
The get out of bed number.
It's a goob. I call it the goob.
Less than this much money.
So that's our recommendation.
That's our goob.
You can do whatever, but you want it to be enough that it has a little bit of pain associated with it.
Well,
Now,
you don't know how they're going to react to a number that's within your range. We've got people that are charging 300 a seat for a CSRA
yeah,
per person, and when you do that,
yeah,
then you see the exact reaction of what your fee is going to be
absolutely,
early on in the process.
100% agree. Absolutely,
Yeah.
100% agree. Okay, I don't think we have any more questions, so I'm going to keep going. We'll have some time to answer at the end. Got a couple things to go here yet. Okay. So most MSPs tell me, Chris, I know how to sell. I know, don't tell me this. My close rate is 100%. Here's the first thing I'll tell you. If your close rate's 100%, you suck at sales. That's the reality of it, because think about this. Let's think about dating. If you close 100% of the people you go on dates with, you ain't very good at dating. I understand everybody's saying yes, but that's not a good sign, because you're definitely going to get some 6s and 7s and whatever in there, but you're definitely going to get some 2s and 3s too. So you shouldn't be getting married to everyone. You should be picking the one you want. That's what matters about sales. It's really, really important. One important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. A gentleman named Arthur Ashe, famous tennis player, said that. Structure creates that self-confidence. So do you have a sales process? Because if you have a sales process, you have more self-confidence because it's repeatable, it's planning, it's structured. You can predict and eliminate objections. You can predict what the ones they're going to be left with are, so you can talk about them. That becomes massively controllable and massively intoxicating. And that self-confidence that it creates closes deals. And I want you guys to be really key about that. And remember, everything we talked about today, from me talking about risk and all these different things, all the way to Cindy talking about how we do the CSRA and all those different things, using this entire system, our 7-figure MSP elite members, they're doubling their MRR in 12 months or less. This is real stuff. We got Brett Gallant from Miramichi, New Brunswick, Canada. If you guys Google Miramichi, he's like way up northeast in New Brunswick. I don't think people live there. It's just Brett and penguins, honestly. There's not even penguins up there, but I'm joking. But Brett started with us. I'm going to run some quick numbers for you guys because I know Brett's numbers. We talk all the time. And Brett, if you're on, you're welcome to comment on this. But Brett had, when he started, $22,000 of MRR. Okay. He had 600 seats. He was at $36.67 per seat.
Yeah.
Brett now has, actually, I have a little bit of update on this. Brett now has $105,000 of MRR.
Yeah.
And 450 seats.
That's right. And Brett's taking care of himself. He's got time to go on walks.
He goes on hikes like every day. So Brett reduced his seat count by 150 and 5x'd his MRR in Canada. Here's Mark Enzor. This is the Tucson, Arizona, the guy that Cindy was talking about earlier. Started elite October 2020 at 98,000 MRR, currently at 180K and going up in a market that was a good old boys club, like we talked about before, that my clients won't buy new or they only want to meet. He did this in Tucson, Arizona, which is oddly similar to Southern Alabama. Okay. And we got an Alabama guy for you too in here. Danny Taylor from Brandon, Manitoba, Canada. Started as a 0 MRR break fix guy. This was a computer store. He actually was Brandon Computers. If you look him up, he's Brandon, Manitoba Computers. Started at 0 computer store. Now has 34K MRR, all 3 and 4 year deals. I think Don's actually on this call. That's Danny's partner. He's on the call. Greg Bledsoe, you heard me mention Greg, my very first screenshot with those deals. Started elite June of 2021 with 45K MRR, and he's 100. I think he's higher than that, isn't he, Cindy? Now.
Yeah, I got to call with him tomorrow. I'll know more tomorrow.
Yeah, so
yeah, he's up there.
Here's Dan DeFay from Madison, Alabama, near Huntsville, Alabama. Started elite at 32,000K of MRR, or 32,000K. That's a new phrase. Currently 155,000 MRR and growing. Really unique thing with Dan. He's expanded, didn't really want to move markets. So he didn't want to expand locally, because he even was on stage in Chicago at our show and said, these are good old boys down here. That was the word. I shouldn't even say that accent because I'm from Texas and that's a bad Texas accent. But he said same stuff that the gentleman earlier was saying about Alabama. So he expanded and changed his model to fully co-managed, and he's in like 16 states now doing fully co-managed. Just signed him a huge deal, I think I saw last week that Dan signed. But the bottom line is he's evolved, and we've given him the tools and the systems for that, and he's closing deals and making it happen. So let's talk really quick about what the right community and systems can do for you and your business. Our program is called 7-Figure MSP Inner Circle Elite. This is a complete sales and marketing program to take your MSP to 7-figure years, 7-figure quarters, 7-figure months, 7-figure deals. Like that's the whole concept. This thing scales across the board. Okay. This is real. Includes sales and marketing coaching. You get our full double your MRR sales system, top to bottom. You get our onboarding process live. You heard me mention earlier, onboarding starts today. Like every Monday we do onboarding. So Monday with Chris, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with Chris or with Cindy and Ryan, and then we do it again next week. That's how this works every single week. You get also on top of that weekly sales open office hours. We got 3 of those a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, staggered times. This entire program works in the United States, works in Canada, works in Australia, works in New Zealand, works in the UK, works across Europe. The only thing we don't do is we do not translate across languages. So if you can speak English and you can use our stuff, green light, and it works everywhere. We recommend $300 per seat charging in your currency, but it can be less. You can do whatever you want. It's having the system and the acceleration to go along with it. You also get our full marketing training system, the 7-Figure MSP marketing machine with our lead marketing coach, Lindsay Badillo. Lindsay and I will be back in 2 weeks to do our marketing webinar, how to add 10 leads to your MSP this week. We're doing that in 2 weeks. We have our full complete marketing onboarding process live. That is with Lindsay, and we do that once per month. Okay, that's there. You also get our full weekly marketing open office hours. There's 3 of those as well every single week. You also get all of these templates, proposal, presentation, and agreement templates, our full cybersecurity sales presentation. Done, like it's not done for you, but it's a full template and it's done. Cindy redoes it every single quarter. That new one, Cindy's absolutely lit, by the way. It's awesome. That's fantastic. You get our full sales proposal template. So the sales presentation is a PowerPoint. The sales proposal template is a Word doc. Both of those are included. You also get that risk acceptance letter that I was talking about. That is included as well. You also get on top of that our full MSA and statement of work templates. Both of those are included with the program, along with a cybersecurity incident response template and discounted access into our ultimate MSP contract kit. That thing is $4K retail. You get it for half off by being an elite member. It's not mandated, but you can use it, and it helps you kind of like saves a massive amount of time teaching you how your contract should read. And then you take that to your attorney. Okay. You also get all these tools and process. We have CSRAs as a service. We partner with a group called Telivy. It's TELIVY.com. You get their baseline 100 endpoints included with the program that you can scan per month, or 50% off retail to unlimited endpoints. So you get our full risk assessment system, 7 different MSP risk assessment tools, and the Telivy tool all included with the program. You also get our WiseTrack CRM included, along with all of our marketing coaching, all of our other stuff and the campaigns that come with it, and our email nurture software and MSP website included. All that stuff is there. And then you get our vendor discounts and special offers, all that stuff on top of it. Over $25,000 in monthly offers, all included with that, including VIP seating at our live event. Don't forget, we got Fort Lauderdale coming up in 30 days, not even 30 days, 24 days, 22 days. I think it is. It's like the 24th. We got that coming up. So Chris, what is the next step? And I'm in Texas, so I got to say y'all. Y'all saw all the things we include in our Inner Circle program. And I know I went pretty fast, so I'm going to try and outline some of this stuff. Not all here. I get that. My wife is calling me. I don't know why she's calling me during a webinar that she knows I'm on, but we got all this stuff included with the program. Value roughly $15,000 a month. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, we have a couple of options for you. You're an MSP or break fix services shop. This is kind of some prerequisites. So you should be an MSP. You should be a break fix services shop. Could you be a copier company? Yes, but you should have some clients. Our recommendation is 10K minimum MRR is our recommendation. Now you can be a startup, but it takes time to go do those clients. You kind of got to do the marketing machine. You got to go through the sales training first. It takes you a month to graduate that. Then you got to start marketing. So my recommendation, we do have a brand new program that we're going to be launching literally in the next couple of weeks called 0 to 10K. That is going to be a course that you go through on your own. And then as you graduate, you get into the elite program. You can do that. Optimal results, you should have at least $10,000 to $12,000 in recurring revenue. So that's there. But here's your most important stuff. You're willing to set aside time for your growth, scale, and leverage of your business. That's thing one. Thing two, you can't be a jerk. I have a strict, hardcore, no jerk policy. This is real and it's big deal. We have an amazing community. Nobody's a jerk. And if anybody's a jerk ever, I kick them out. It's literally that simple. Like, Cindy, how good is our community, right?
Oh, yeah. He kicks people out. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And you have to be serious about working on your business. Yes, you can still do your tech stuff. I get it. You have to do your tech stuff, especially in a smaller shop, but you got to commit time. You got to commit time to work on it. That's really, really critical. I can't state that enough. So those things are there. My special offer for you guys today, 12 months of our elite coaching program for only $1,750 per month. Yes, it's a 12-month minimum. It takes time to do this. You're not going to learn this and deploy this in weeks. Yes, you'll see results in weeks. In fact, we expect you to see your ROI on the program in the first 30 days.
Yeah, I'm not happy if you don't cash flow it.
What was that?
I'm not happy if you don't cash flow it.
Yeah, I'm not either. Like, I want you to, so I expect you to see your cash flow, your break-even point within the first 30 days. We expect you in your first 3 to 4 days to be booking points. You saw Doug Morton booked his first paid CSRA today, and he joined Friday. These are things that you have to be doing. Now, if you book your call right now from this webcast, I'm going to include a couple things for you. We have a 2-day marketing machine boot camp that Lindsay Badillo does. That's included. It's going to be live streamed for you and your entire team. It's a $5,000 value, so I'll include that. And as a special bonus, if you book your call today, we'll do our white glove custom migration on WiseTrack for you, totally free from any CRM you have. That means Infusionsoft, Keep, anything that's out there that you're using, HubSpot, or your PSA. A lot of people are using their PSA as their CRM. Shouldn't be that way. PSA is for managing clients, not leads. Okay. And that's another $2,000 value. So you get all this stuff plus your bonus items, roughly another $7,000 of value. Here's how you book your call. In fact, I'm going to I think Jose's in here. Let me bring him in here really quick. What's up, bro? You're muted.
Hey, guys.
Man, so come on, bro. You can't be sitting on hold and then be muted.
I've been here for like almost 30 minutes, man.
I know. Cindy and I talk a lot. So this is who you talk to, guys. This is Jose. Jose is our closing machine, and he's actually, we got 3 Texas kids right here. So you got me. Yeah. In fact, it goes like this. Cindy's south, I'm middle, Jose's North Austin. So it's kind of, we're surrounding Austin for some reason. But Jose, anything you want to say on this one?
No, guys. Some of the names look familiar. So
yeah, Matt just said here on the screen he's got a call with you tomorrow. So that's cool.
Yes, perfect. And Paul Lacunga, I know he had a question. Hopefully we get it answered. Wasim, good to see you guys on this call, man. I hope you guys are learning something. Just from jumping on 30 minutes ago, I mean, Cindy and Chris are still dropping nuggets. So you guys already see what the free value is. Can you just imagine what it's like on the inside, guys? That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I love it. So, Jose, I'll let you in here for a little bit. If we got to answer some questions, we can hit it. Wasim said hi, by the way.
What's up, man?
Yeah, it's great. So, guys, we're going to give you a chance to answer a couple things in a minute here because I got a special thing for you to be eligible to get the prizes. But if you book your call from this webcast, I'm going to give you a $50 Amazon gift card. So anybody watching here on the webinar with us, if you're watching on the live streams, I don't care what platform you're on, or if you're watching on the recording, mention this webcast when you talk to Jose and we will send you a $50 Amazon gift card. You do need to actually talk to him. And he's the one that controls that, for the record. He submits it. So if you suck, he's just booting you out and nothing. Any feedback on that one?
I haven't kicked anybody out yet.
Okay. That's not good, man. That $50 going to come out of your commission. That's it. Okay. So on top of that, I got a couple of guarantees for you guys that I want to just walk through. So Cindy and I believe a lot in what we teach. Lindsay does too. Ryan does too. We got a whole team. We do have a full 30-day money-back guarantee. Jose, you been asked for this guarantee yet?
Not yet, man.
The program works. Here's the trick, and there's a caveat with this. If you come in the program, pay 1 month, and just like, oh, I want to download all the stuff and bail, ain't going to work. You're not going to get your money back. In fact, I'm going to chase you down and I'll show up on your doorstep probably. But you have to show up and you have to do the work. This program works. I promise you the program works. You have to do the work though. So if you participate in the work and you attend all the calls in the first 30 days, and we kind of outline what that is in our agreement. If you think you're going to see no ROI, if you think it's not worth it, if you think Chris sucks, Jose's worse, Cindy's really bad, or this won't work in your market, all this different stuff, I'll just give you your money back in full. No questions asked. I've never even been asked for this, for the record. In 6 years, I've never been asked for this. We've also added a second guarantee, continuing with how much I believe in the program. And I think Cindy's on board with this. If you participate in all the work and attend all the calls, do and we want you to do at a minimum in your first 90 days, at a minimum, 3 cybersecurity risk assessments for existing clients. If you can't do that, you shouldn't be in the program anyway. But if you don't miss, make at least $1,750 in additional MRR, I'll write you a check for $1,750. Also, never been asked for this. Jose, you been asked for either of these?
Neither.
Okay. The program works, guys. I know you're like, oh, he's telling him to say that. No, Jose and I never see each other, so I don't even like the guy. It's fine. And if you book your consult, again, with our team, and that'll be with Noid or with Jose or with Alexis or any of our team, Nora, me, Ryan, I don't care who it is. If you book your call from any of our team, we'll give you that $50 gift card just for completing the call. And also, don't forget, and Jose, you're going to be at the live event. Cindy's actually, all of us are going to be at the live event.
We're going to be.
Here's how you book your live event for Q4 in Fort Lauderdale. Last couple things I have for you guys. Here's that URL one more time. And Cindy, if you could throw me that in the chat, I'm going to put that on the screen. Oh, I got it already. It was already there. I got it on the screen. Oh, it's already on the screen anyway. I don't know why I got to put it on there twice. I'm not used to having the pop-up thing. That's cool. Okay, final couple things before we do prizes. Yep. You guys had asked for the CSRA guide. There's your URL. This thing is absolutely litty.
Guys, I proofread that. This is gold, guys. I can't believe you're giving it away for free.
We're not. You're paying for it, bro.
Oh, man.
So you can also hit your phone with and I'm going to test this just to make sure, because this is brand new. So literally, let's make sure that works. There's my link. Let's see what populates. It should be a Google Drive link. Yep, there we go. Open. Hopefully that opens up. You're watching here. Hold on. It's got to do my facial thing. There it is right there. So that worked perfectly on my phone. That's the full guide in PDF. So there's no opt-ins, no crap. That's it right there for you guys. So that's the full guide. Okay. And then you can book a call with Jose right there on the bottom also. See, that's got the strategy call thing. So that's it for you guys. It's pretty cool stuff. Feel free to screenshot, pause if you're watching, snap that screenshot, whatever you got to do. Cindy put the link in the chat for you guys. Last thing, we're going to do our prizes. Here's how we're going to win this. And then I'm going to make Jose pick 2 people he likes. Yeah, buddy, it's on you, bro.
Oh, man.
Here's how we get this. And then Noah just said, thank you for the guide. Travis said, thank you for the guide. Oh, and you guys are going to it's legit stuff. It's really good.
Dude.
What did you learn today? And we're just under 2 hours. Somebody yelled at me earlier for being, I thought this was an hour. Cindy and I don't do anything for an hour. Nothing. Literally nothing do we do for an hour. What's one thing that you learned today that you can take away and put in your business or you find especially valuable? Throw it in the chat. And we're going to pick.
Make it good, guys.
2 of those people. Good. Jose, you got 2 minutes. We're coming up here. You got until the top of the hour. I like this one.
Yeah,
love that.
I love that 72 hours for the money to peace out.
Peace out. It's actually
out. I'm using that.
72 hours or less. So keep in mind, it could be, depending on your bank and your country, it could be less than that. That's just what the FBI says. Oh, we might have a chance. That's it. A couple of different things coming in. Clients will get hacked. Some really good stuff here, guys. I learned that Jose is still working there. That's a good sign.
Oh, it's hilarious.
That might be the winner, brother.
That's the winner right there, man. Who said that?
That's funny. Understanding how you speak to customers about your value. Prospect for our detailed information. Don't be afraid to ask about money, how much in their account, how much revenue. 100%, brother. That's key. How much of their money is our fee protecting? I need more starting capital for CSRAs. I agree with you, Fatima. That's good. Also, most importantly, right client, right scope, right price. I love that one. Anybody else? We got about a minute left here. This is ticking down. Jose, at the top of the hour, I'm going to make you make a call.
Jeez.
That means we got 1 Hawaiian minute, folks. 1 Hawaiian minute. This has been fun today.
Yeah, it's good. What do you guys think of the StreamYard platform? I'm a big fan. I'm honestly a huge fan. There's a couple little, glitches here and there, especially on the sign-up process, but I'm a huge fan of having this in place because it enables me to put stuff like this on the screen. Like, it's such a big deal for us. The best part is it covers Jose, so that's like even better. But so you guys don't know, like Jose and I like are friends and we know each other. We give each other a hard time.
All right, man.
Learn how to sell and offer more valuable stuff to customers. I like the streaming platform and chat. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. We're always kind of trying new different stuff, so it's cool. I'm a huge fan of StreamYard too, so it works really well. There's a couple things I wish it had a little bit better, but it's kind of in beta yet, so we're getting there. Okay, Jose, we are right at 5 o'clock Central Time. Okay, $100 gift card. Who's your winner?
I'm gonna give it to. I just want to make sure I don't mess up his name. Hold on. I like StreamYard, but it is a little weird, a little wonky. Taylor Williams, man, you were just posting a bunch earlier. I could tell you took a lot of notes.
That's because he likes your laughter. I think that's what he said. Right
there we go. I read that after I said your name, but Taylor Williams.
Taylor, do me a favor. Put in the chat your email address. I know we probably have it, but please put your email address in there. And we will put that in the chat and we'll get that for you. So you get a $100 gift card. And if anybody's international, we can send you other stuff too. So Taylor Williams won the $100 gift card. So please put your email in there. And drum roll. This is like the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation drum roll. Who is our $250 gift card winner?
Hold on. Let's see. Man, this is.
You're really bad at this. I'm just.
No. I just want to make sure it's the right one because he was talking about basically having a seat at the table and not being afraid to ask questions about money and.
How many comments?
I want to say it was Matthew Miller.
Okay, well, Matthew Miller's getting it because you said his name.
Matthew Miller.
All right, Matthew Miller, congratulations. Matthew Miller wins our $250 Amazon gift card. Matthew, please throw in the chat your email address. Do me a favor, Jose, grab both those and send those to Amanda on the winners. Congratulations on that, Matthew. And to Taylor, great job, guys. Really excited about that. We are going to get rolling here and head out. I really appreciate all of your time so much. This is real stuff. And our program really works. Jose's as mediocre as he is. He's really worth talking to. I love you, man. I like giving you a hard time.
No, we're good.
So both your emails should be there in the chat. We got a couple of really good comments. Chris Walker, thank you so much. I hope you guys had enjoyed today. I know it's 2 hours, but it's worth your time, right? This is good stuff. Do me a favor. If you really like us, feel free to go out on Channel Program and give us a review. We love 5-star reviews on channelprogram.com. Those guys have been doing a really good job for us. Our program really works. We have nothing but super happy clients. We have the guys in the Facebook group that are like, oh, you won't get answers in here. It's Chris's group. Hey, you guys, this is real shit. Like, that's just who me and Cindy are. This we train. Lindsay's exactly the same, just a lot better looking. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. Cindy, great job. Any final parting words?
Hey, no, we'll see you next time. Go take some action.
Okay.
Execute, baby.
Yeah. Go execute. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.